So on this 2014 Vermeer BC 1200 XL, we were using it yesterday, and sometimes the upper feed roller would stop spinning and there'd be a loud screeching sound coming from this area. And I was thinking motor, but the way it was happening, it kind of would seem like any slight amount of load, it would stop spinning, and then you'd have to lift it up so that it wasn't contacting the material anymore, and then it would like start slowly spinning and catch back up to speed again, and then it would do that under heavy load. It wouldn't do it. So I was trying to wonder if it was like this shaft goes inside of that bore, so I was thinking maybe it was just free spinning in there, so then under light load it was enough to make that just start spinning independently of that, but under heavy load it would like force them against each other, like cockeye them kind of, so then they were forced to spin together. And sure enough, I was exactly right. I originally tried to take these set screws, they're like, I think there's 4 of them. I tried to take those out to get it off, and then I found that it just free spun on, like, this bore was free spinning over this shaft, and I was not having any luck getting these out anyways. And I took that bigger one out just because it was actually a brass plug. Honestly, not really quite sure why it's there, but I was able to get that one out, and that's when I found out for sure that they were independently spinning. So then I just went and pulled this off, and yeah, it's pretty gruesome. It's not, obviously not the worst failure ever, but definitely not good. So clearly it had worked itself loose and was just rounding itself out in there. This Woodruff key is definitely was taking the brunt of it. Thankfully, I guess in a way that saved this shaft, but I don't know, this key slot might be ruined anyways. It's pretty rounded over on the edges, but that was obviously what was wearing so much into this. And I know that in the past, a couple years ago, the other tech that I mentioned before that used to work here, he replaced this motor because it was leaking. So I don't know if he did something wrong. Maybe he didn't tighten the set screws enough and allowed it to get loose over time. Maybe the set screws were seized and he wasn't able to tighten or loosen them, and he just decided not to and rely on the Woodruff key. I could see that being a possibility. Either way, something caused that shaft to break loose inside that bore. But yeah, obviously the correct fix would be to have it, I think would be to have it line bored. I don't know enough about line boring. I surely don't have the capabilities to do that myself. I don't know if it's possible to line bore like a dead end hole. It probably is. I don't know though. And if not that, then you would have to replace the whole feed roller, which I'm sure is just tons of money. So as far as what I'm going to do, I don't know. I hate to say it, but I might just have to get a new Woodruff key, and those set screws are probably just absolutely seized in there. I tried to get one out, like I said, had no luck. Came very close to breaking. It's such a small hex head. It's at 4mm, and I just came so close to breaking it. My hex bit in there. I tried using heat to no avail. All I did was ended up heat weakening one of my hex bits, because I was using that to help transfer the heat into the whatever set screw. Anyways, yeah, so I think that at this point they are like practically welded to this bore, because you can kind of see one right there. But just because the metal is just been worn down so much, it's like they're fused together practically. That'd be my guess anyways. So I might just have to drill them out or something, and if I could save the threads, maybe put the same size in there or bigger ones, and then just send it until I'm gonna have to talk to my boss about it. I'm sure that he's not gonna want to pay a ton of money for it, this fix though, so that's kind of unfortunate. Just thought you guys might find this interesting. Once again, this is not best practice, this is not ideal, but I am sure this is going to be the route that my boss would rather me take. I may try to weld back some material in here so that the woodruff key actually has a somewhat of a slot to sit in again, because clearly this is the side that it's going to be pushing against, and right now it's so worn out that even if I put a new key in there, it would just have so much slop in there and all that, it wouldn't really be doing much, and it would accelerate the process of the key wearing down again. So if I weld some material back in here, then it'll have a more proper tight-fitting slot. The only thing is I'm gonna have to pick up some rasps, I think is what they're called, to then shape the weld down so it obviously isn't too much, you know, too high or whatever, and it's uneven and makes it hard to put the shaft in. But this whole situation is kind of just another one of those things. Here's what ended up happening to my 4mm. Fortunately, I didn't have an impact bit, so that's why I was using that one.